You all may know this channel for its Super Smash Bros. Melee content, whether it was the Melee Myths, TASes, or the 20 Things You Didn't Know About Melee series. Today, I have an interesting look at something with just as much depth as Melee, with a fraction of the fans. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, a game I've loved ever since I got my GameCube back in 2001. I love how charming the music, visuals, plot, animations, and stage designs are. It feels like an endeavor of love filled to the brim with charisma and soul. However, my favorite thing about not just Sonic Adventure 2, but both Sonic Adventure games is the Chao Garden. My teenage years saw countless hours of my Wii being left on when I left for school so that my Chao could evolve into Chaos Chao. Heck, look at my save, I have nearly 500 hours on just this one file. I yearn for games with as much depth this side game has to offer. Sonic Adventure 2's main story already has so much content. There is no reason that Sega had to build something so fleshed out, yet so simple. The Chao have a seemingly infinite number of variations. Their body changes as they age and train their stats. They also change based on whether they're cared for by the hero characters, the dark characters, or a mixture of both. Not only can their physical bodies change, but they also come in a variety of cool colors. Let's time travel back to the original Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 on the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast had these little memory cards with screens that plug into the controller called Visual Memory Units, or VMUs. You could transfer your Chao from your console to the VMU and take it with you wherever you go, kind of like a Tamagotchi. You could feed your Chao, breed Chao by connecting two VMUs, and play games to earn rings to take back to the garden. In today's video, I will be going into detail about the Tiny Chao Garden. It was the GameCube remake's answer to the VMU. Both Sonic Adventure DX and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle could connect to the Tiny Chao Gardens in Sonic Advance, Sonic Advance 2, and Sonic Pinball Party. You can transfer Chao to and from your Game Boy Advance via the Snifty cable. You can gather rings from the main game, or either of the two minigames found in the Tiny Chao Garden to buy fruit for your Chao, Jewel Chao eggs, or toys for your Chao to play with. All of the eggs from the Tiny Chao Garden are transferable to both GameCube Adventure titles. I recently went back to these games with the intention of getting the Onyx Egg. The Onyx Egg is the most expensive of the Jewel Chao eggs at an egregious price of 20,000 rings. I thought it would be fun to keep track of the eggs I encountered on my hunt for the Onyx Egg to see if they appeared at different rates. After 1,000 eggs, I encountered every single egg except the Onyx Egg. I figured, oh, it must be the most rare since it's the most expensive one. I was naively mistaken. I remembered something I had learned about the eggs in Sonic Adventure 2. Your save file will always have a few eggs that will never spawn. There are 3 total sets of 3 eggs each. Why would the developers make it impossible to get some of the eggs? To encourage trading with others. Kinda like how Pokemon has version exclusives to incentivize trading. Why do I bring all of this up? Well, I was thinking to myself, maybe the Tiny Chao Garden treats eggs in a similar way to the console Chao Gardens. So I started to do some research. One simple search of Tiny Chao Garden egg rates yields a few different web pages with the same pieces of information. Even a super reliable website I've used for over 10 years, Chao Island. What if I told you that all of these websites are actually wrong? And what if I told you that I know exactly where that information came from? The official guidebook. This guidebook is awesome. Not only is it for Sonic Advance, but if you flip it over, it's for Sonic Adventure 2 as well. Let's turn to the part where it talks about the egg rates in the Tiny Chao Garden. Here they say that there are 2 rarity tables, and each egg in those tables has its own percentage of appearing. There's a 3-to-1 ratio of normal eggs versus rare eggs, so this means that 3 out of 4 eggs will be from the normal table, and 1 out of 4 eggs will be from the rare table. Well, that's something, except for the fact that they're saying the Topaz is the most rare egg? What do you mean? I've gotten plenty of Topaz eggs and no Onyx eggs. Surely this isn't some astronomically impossible statistical anomaly. Okay. Let's break this information down in my handy dandy spreadsheet. Here you can see that, for the most part, the normal table is pretty consistent with what the guidebook says. The rare eggs seem to have the same percentages as the guidebook, but for different eggs. Look at how close this data is. 5%, 5%, 12%, and 2%. So I wasn't getting unlucky, it was just that my game's rarest egg, the one that is 0.125%, was the Onyx Egg. This was definitely a step in the right direction, proving my theory that there may be different RNG seeds or a different set of probabilities per save file. Actually, there is something we need to talk about first. The way Sonic Advance handles save files is odd. The Tiny Chao Garden and the main game save are two separate save files. You can only delete the main game save file, leaving the Tiny Chao Garden untouched. This means that what you get is what you get. There's no changing which eggs appear by resetting the save file. You might be thinking, well, that's a small sample size. You have to test more than one cartridge. And you'd be right. So I asked my friend for his copy of Sonic Advance to do some further testing. After just 9 eggs on the second copy of Sonic Advance, I ran into the fabled Onyx egg. I had never felt so much relief. I did 1,000 more eggs on this second copy of Sonic Advance. If we take a look at my handy dandy spreadsheet, we will see that the normal eggs line up once again. The rare egg on this save file, which I did manage to see one of, was the Topaz egg. A whopping 13 Onyx eggs compared to my copy, yielding 0 after seeing double the total amount of eggs. Is there like a f***ing bird outside?
Oh, I thought that was you.
No.
What the hell was that?
There's someone living in your monitor. How many variations of egg rarities are there? Is there a difference with the Sonic Advance 2 and Sonic Pinball Party Chao Gardens? Unfortunately, I can't buy a bajillion copies of these games to continue testing further. I need your help. If you have any of the games with the Tiny Chao Gardens and would like to help out by doing some testing, it would be very much appreciated. Also, it has to be actual cartridges. If you were to test with your legally obtained ROM file, you may be only finding one seed. If you have a copy and do decide to help, please join the b&dgames Discord server and use the Tiny Chao Garden text channel to ping either Dan or myself so we can gather your egg rates. This guidebook is awesome. Not only is it for Sonic Advance, but if you flip it over, it's a Sonic Adventure 2 battle guidebook as well. Let's turn to the part where it talks about the... Are you fucking kidding me?
Excuse me.
This was definitely a step in the right direction, proving my theory that there may be different RNG seeds or a different set of probability. Are you fucking kidding me?
Buddy, I'm sorry.
How? I have to sit here. Why can't you just walk out?
No, that one shouldn't smell.